What a cream to taste. Alright. Content begin. Scourge of hold up. Enhance. We can stay here. Bolts from the blue. Witness the wonder of the Stormcast Etrenals, clad in gleaming sigmarite and wreathed in the celestial lightning. They descend from the heavens to bring Sigmar's salvation to the mortal realms. Their Memorian Atom will enlighten you further. We're skipping that. Oh wait, it's the loads guy.
Iridan cursed as their Morgriff Ariax plunged through the thick wall of the Verdian canopy with wings tucked, smashing through a lattice of branches and grasping vines. "We will never find them in this god's-forsaken tangle," they muttered, and Ariax gave a rasping caw of agreement. Still, they would search until nightfall, for in their bones they felt the presence of the lost Reclusians still. The Stormcast had not fallen.
Look at that.
They were certain.
On the side.
The wretched Nurglites would
letting
prolong
you know
their companions' torment for as long as possible. "Take us lower," they bade Ariax. "As low as you can." Iridan's
as
eyes
low as you
scanned
can.
the corpse-strewn forest floor. There, a flash of silvered armor, half buried by a throng of bloated reavers. The ground around the melee was littered with hewn and smoking corpses. Without instruction, Ariax pounced on the Nurglites,
backlight is a touch too blue.
In a blur of raking claws. Iridan struck out left and right with the axe of the final threshold, its azure flames engulfing the heathen's varicose flesh. The mass of Maggotkin parted, scrambling to evade Ariax's wrath. There stood Regnus and Aliata, the two Reclusians refusing to abandon the stricken, bleeding form of their comrade Venerus. "To me, faithful of Sigmar," Iridan the Witness cried, seeing a flicker of emotion in the warriors' eyes as they reacted to the command. "Remember your duty. We fight for the fallen."
We fight for the fallen. Look at how thin the depth of field is here. His hand and the back of the chair. I think this shade of red and blue is awkward. This is how you might light someone with a different skin tone than Loadsman. But hey, good work. I like it. It's like a nightclub scene almost, but he's reading a book. When you're getting Iridan warscroll, yeah, it's true. In this faction pack update, the mightily heroic Stormcast Eternals have been rewarded with 3 mighty heroic traits, bolstered by intense piety. Your hero's faith in Sigmar will be so absolute that enemy wizards and priests will struggle to cast their spells and prayers when in their presence. Very handy if you're fighting magic-happy armies, of which there aren't many. I'm going to be honest with you. Then there's Hour of Glory, which is like their finest hour, but much longer. As in, you can use it all the time. Our favorite, though, is Legendary Tenacity. When your Stormcast hero finally falls in glorious battle, they do not turn into lightning and return to Azir. Instead, they get back up and carry on fighting. Okay, so it's one of those, when the thing dies, it comes back to life. Probably on a die roll, which makes it awful. Just once, mind you, don't be greedy, but it could just be what you need to turn the tide of battle. Alongside the trio of traits are a triad of artifacts. Drum roll and dramatic voice. Oh, ahem. The relics of Sigmaron. All three are flag, banner, or beacon-based wonders, making for excellent modeling options on your heroes. The Banner of Sigmar can be slammed into the ground to prevent your opponents controlling objectives while they have no units contesting them. The Sigil of Morda, most likely crow-shaped, nullifies enemy commands and rampage abilities used in the combat phase. Like the sound of that. Well, the Beacon of Azir can be used to chant a prayer or cast a spell automatically. Alright, there he is. To round out today's wondrous gifts for Sigmar, there's also a new Scourge Ghyran War Scroll for Iridan the Betrayer. For Iridan Stormrage the Witness. Entering Ghyran has clearly had a positive effect on them because they now inflict more damage than before, while their resistance to enemy abilities is also increased. So, inspirational is their faith that Nearby Stormcast from the Ruination Chamber become harder to affect with enemy abilities, and more deadly in combat if Iridan demands it. Lastly, we're still going. Iridan's Morgrief mount Ariax can now leap over charging forces. Oh, like the Stonehorn thing. Leave them confused and disoriented, and peck at them from the back for good measure. Caw. Alright, so we got Iridan 320. Any 0 to 1. This is handbook fact number 1. Ooh, we got facts. Alright. It's a box, not a book. Okay, technically there is a book inside the box, but this gorgeous new format includes so much more. Alongside the book, you'll also find new battle tactic cards, battle plan cards, manifestation, warscroll cards, 6 fancy objective markers. So much exciting content, so little space to explore it. If only the internet was infinite. We'll just have to come back another day. Yeah, well, click here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Scourge Ghyran update is for an army of virtuous warriors who seek to preserve and protect the realms. I can't think of an army that fits that description. I can think of a few armies that would like to think they fit that description, but I can't think of any that really do. They do smell slightly odd, though. That's what I was thinking. It's Flesh Eater Quartz. Hey, all right. Let's look at the changes, shall we? You can pick a rogue trait. Enhance. Oh, that didn't really do anything. All right. Stormforged qualities. Hero only. Legendary Tenacity. The first time this unit would be destroyed before moving it from play, roll a die. On a 3-up, it's not destroyed. Remaining damage points on it have no effect. Then heal it. I hate it. I don't like this. Essentially a once per game on a 3-up, right? And it's the sort of thing you take that, I don't know, like has such a, it has so many opportunities not to matter or do nothing that I tend not to like this type of thing. Yeah, another Phoenix gem. And you put the thing at like 2 life, depending on what army your opponent's on, how many phases they can produce damage in. Right? Like, oh, it doesn't die in combat, it heals D3, and then at the end of the turn you use like a D3 rampage and kill it anyway. I don't know. No, I don't like it. I don't like rolling for it. It'd probably be too good if it was auto, right? That's the rub. But I don't like it. Hour of Glory, ignore the other 2. Okay, well in that case I'm going to read the non-Hour of Glory one next. Pick a visible enemy priest or wizard within 18 to be the target. Roll a die, 3-up, subtract 1 for casting rolls, chanting rolls for the target until starting next turn. Bad. You have to waddle your way up to 18 away from their priest or wizard thing. Priest wizard armies tend to run a bunch of them. Whichever one you happen to target with this thing, they're just not going to cast the one spell with that one. They'll cast the important spell with a different one, even if the shit succeeds. And -1 casting rolls isn't good enough for all this spinning basketballs and plates. Bad. Hey, all right. We have one last chance for a trait that I like in the Stormcast section. Oh no. Could it be? Was Skaven a fluke? You'll look at ways to make more traits artifacts since we have a surplus of actually viable choices now. Well, if you do, that's great. What'd you miss? Don't worry about it. A commercial. Hour of Glory. This unit can be picked to use the best day ever ability, even if it has already used it this battle. Oh yeah, it's this one. You're right. Yep, you take this one. In addition, when this unit is picked to use the best day ever, add 5 to its control score. Hey, all right. 2 entire turns of best day ever in a row is a large percentage of the duration of the average game. You know, as much as 66% of it. Right. Hell yeah, brother. These two I don't like, but doesn't matter. And you know what? It's nice that they're leaning into one of their other abilities too. You know, do some callbacks. 5 entire turns potentially. You can use it every turn. Oh, I need to read this closer. In my brain, I'm like, you can choose it an additional time, right? That's how I read this the first time. I'm like, you can use it twice instead of once. That's not what it says. It says your little like your little guy, your little Star Drake is just like, yo, check this shit out all day, every day. Okay, well, I thought in my head, I'm like, you can use it twice instead of once, and I already liked it. So now that you can use it 5 times, I like it 2.5 times more. I'll round it up to 3. Yeah, Our Glory. And it feels very heroic, feels very Stormcast. You know, chilling on a 2-up save forever with whoever. Obviously, it doesn't last on your opponent's turn unless they change that or I'm misremembering it. But that shit's sick. Great work. Yeah, we do this one. All right, saved. We're still excited. Artifacts of Power. Banner of Sigmar. Pick an objective within 18 of this unit to be the target until the start of your next turn. Your opponent cannot control the target objective while they have no units contesting it. Interesting. So you do have to have your commander next to it or kind of near it, which is not nothing. Until the start of your next turn. It is once per battle your hero phase. It does auto work. I'm just trying to, in my head, I'm trying to think of the percentages because this will win you the game sometimes, right? This ability says once per battle, if you happen to be in a certain situation of unknown likelihood, you win the game. And then the rest of the time, it's blank. It doesn't do anything. So it is sort of a little like wins you the game completely sometimes. And it's just about how often that can happen. I don't know. Maybe I like it, but I'm not sure. I guess I'd have to think about it more and kind of come up with all the possible situations where that could matter. And I suppose if you choose it, you're going to be kind of playing towards those in certain ways. Put your thumb on the scale. But then you're playing that way instead of a different way. I don't know. I think I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. Side note, am I crazy for this take? All right, behold, a hot take. This is how the whole game should be. The quality of life went too far. We need to go back to the before time with this one thing. You should have to babysit objectives again. Maintaining control of them when you leave was a wonderful quality of life, but it caused a vacuum of tactical decisions to form in the game that we artificially shoved battle tactics into. And I think it would be better to have organic area control back because of that. Maybe we can't do it now. Maybe armies and tables are too small. But it's just, I haven't fully thought through this idea. It just kind of occurred to me. Anyway, once per battle on your turn, sometimes you completely win the game, otherwise it's a wasted choice. Once per turn reaction, opponent declared a command or a rampage ability for a unit in combat with this unit. Sigil of Morda. Roll a die and a 3-up. The command or rampage has no effect. Oh, it's RAR. Except better, because it's rampages or commands. Yeah, amazing. Especially because in Stormcast specifically, you can put this on a unit that actually matters, right? You have the opportunity, like you're playing heroes that are not named heroes, that are also like monstrous dragons and shit that you might play anyway. Yeah, giving you 1.5 times better roar is sick. Okay, 2-up save. Like 2-up save Star Drake thing that people can't get extra rend against because when they try to all-out attack, it just doesn't work. Potentially massive like hero hammer anvil centerpiece thing. Cool. And this is like a build around me then, right? Because you're choosing that, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to juice that up, and then now you're sort of building the rest of your army around doing that. What a thrill. I love the idea of, here's an ability, and so if I lean into it, I build the army in a different way than I might otherwise have. That's good. More of that stuff is great. And normally I'm annoyed by 3-ups, but it's once per individual player turn, yours and your opponent's. The effect is super strong. It's not like once per game or anything like that. It's fine. Are the points for the alternate war scrolls different than the actual war scroll? Yes. Typically, from what I've seen so far, they're better pointed in both definitions, as in more aggressively pointed and also more correctly. In the future, when they go in the... it would be lame if so, because in the future, when they go, the unit is potentially obsolete in the list. You mean like next GHB, when the war scroll might go away? Then it becomes obsolete, I suppose. But at that point, you're probably getting a new book, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's quite as transient as Regiments of Renown or anything. Then again, it's a GHB, yeah. GHBs last for 2 years, right? 25, 26 for this one. I think that's about the shelf life of a unit, maybe. But yeah, it would be nice to have more staying power on stuff like that. Beacon of Azire. Once per battle, any hero phase. Ooh, any hero phase, okay. Pick a visible, friendly Stormcast Eternals, Wizard or Priest, Holy than 12. Can be yourself. Next time, target uses a prayer or spell instead of making a casting roll or chanting roll. You can use value 7 for the roll that cannot be modified. After that ability is resolved, if the target has any ritual points, reset their ritual points to 0. Ritual points apply modifiers that cannot be used with this ability to increase. Okay, so you can't critical a prayer with it. You cannot auto-crit a prayer with it. I don't think any of their prayers crit on a 7 for sure. Here's a question. Is the -1 you suffer from casting a spell a modifier? Or does it like change the target number? So if it says any hero phase. If I do this on my opponent's turn, casting a spell that needs a 7. Does it work or does it not work? Only prayer that crits is Iridan's, and yes, -1 off turn is a mod. Okay. Nice. This is great, this thing here. Magic is too random in this game already, and prayers require too many action staircases for your payoff, generally. It doesn't mean either of those things are bad, it's just annoying. And there is nothing quite so powerful as a guarantee that you can push the button and just make sure something fucking happens for once. Really good. Really good. Okay, Our Glory, excellent. The other two, don't like them. One of them's actually bad, the other I just don't like. Banner of Sigmar is interesting, but probably not takeable. And when it is, it's weird because it just wins the game or does nothing. And Morta is just super powerful. Cool. Yeah, great. We got some actual choices here that cause you to build in different ways. Wonderful. Yeah, off-turn translocate that auto works. Off-turn bless weapons. Even on-turn sometimes. Like, hell yeah. All right. Great. I was becoming concerned when I read the first two. I'm like, oh no, they really can't make a Stormcast thing. Bacon of Azir is good for prayers. I mean, it's good for prayers or spells. Making sure that thing, the first hoop you jump through on your turn or your opponent's turn actually works. It's awesome. Obviously, it's much better with prayers because there's no counter pray. There is unbind, right? Even with the auto thing, your opponent can still unbind it. Spells, man. Alright, Scourge of Ghyran. We got Iridan the Witness. Now, I don't remember their warscroll, but I recall it not being that great. Now, I could be wrong about that, but it didn't stay in here. 12-12-3 flying. You love to see it. And they finally put the wards up here right next to the save. I wrote them a physical letter about that. I'm like, hiding ward 6 down here is a failure of graphic design being your passion. All right, you made this wheel, put it right next to the save. Great work. Axe of the Final Threshold, Crit Mortal. I think we're up to 3 damage, I want to say. 4-2-2-2. Charge +1. Companion 4 and 6. I'm assuming they said in the article that he fights better now. So I don't know what it was before, but this is looking fine. This is looking good. It was D3. Absolutely disgusting. Great change in that case. Good work. Damage 3. Ren 2. Big. Not getting a Finest Hour bonus here, but then again, it's Companion. So we are going 3s and 2s with Finest Hour. The Flames of Hope. You can reroll resistance rolls friendly Ruination Chamber units while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. Awesome. You love to see it. Yeah, great. Super good. Once per turn reaction, this unit was picked to be the target of a non-core ability. Yeah, that's the resistance roll. 3 up, no effect. Sweet. That's the Reclusian, rule. Talon's Lost crit hit 2. Talons now +1 damage. Okay, so the Talons are now +1 damage on the charge, and they used to be crit 2 hits. +1 damage on the charge is so much better than crit 2 hits. You only have 6 attacks. You can expect like 0.756s, maybe, if you roll that. Charge damage, just get the charge, right? And then it's all +1. Yeah, much better. Much better. Yeah, the normal Reclusian resistance rolls are 4 up. This one's 3. I don't know if it used to be 3 or not, but good work there. Guardian of the Final Threshold is not the once a turn army ability. Oh, okay, so you actually get 2 of them then. Oh ho. Well, you might not get 2 because it's a reaction. And so you might have to choose which one you're using. But your buddies can reroll their resistance rolls in any case. Demands of the Witness. 3. Yeah, so it's... I mean, you get 2 of them, but not on the same person. It's like 2 of your units can each do theirs. He can reroll his own 3-up resistance. Bellicor BTFO. What does this do? Pick a visible friendly Ruination Chamber unit wholly within 12 of this unit to be the target, then make a chanting roll. Until the start of your next turn, add 1 to rend, of the target's melee weapons. If the chanting roll was 7 or greater, value of 7 for the roll. Ooh. If the chanting roll is 7 or greater, you can pick another eligible unit to be the second target. Oh, that's good. That's a nice one. Has to be a Ruination Chamber. Okay, no big deal. Auto twofer, huh? Fun detected and allowed? What's this? There's more? Once per turn army, any combat phase. Pick an enemy unit in combat, die 3 up. You can remove this unit from the battlefield, set up again within 1 of the target. If the target charged this turn, subtract 1 from hit rolls for the target's attacks. Okay. So on your opponent's turn, they use their stuff first, and then you use your stuff. Interesting. Okay, so for the suplex, because this is the first thing I think of is the suplex. You'd be switching places and then switching back. Like a Gargant comes in there and suplexes you off the objective, and then you on Wings of Death back onto the objective. Which is sort of funny. And on their turn, they get screwed. And on your turn, you get screwed. Well, at least there's an easy way of determining that. Interesting. Hey, alright. Yeah, it's... Aside from, like, that one particular situation, this isn't, like, the best, right? Fairly minor ability. You have to get charged for it to even come close to mattering, really. But it's, like, kind of neat to perfectly reposition sometimes, I guess. And if you get got somehow, you can at least issue someone a -1 to hit you. He's a priest 1, of course. I mean, they couldn't make this thing too good. Look at the rest of the shit the guy does. The big question is, does HeyWoah like this bird? It is a fine mask. It looks like it doesn't make noise. It's alright. You know, I don't like birds, but it's cool that it has an executioner hood. That's nice. Gatebreaker bird. Can kind of see it. Model combines the visual language of the male and female Stormcast a bit. Does it? Maybe the hood. I thought it was an executioner thing. Yo, hold on. It's got a cow catcher on a train. Armor. That's sick. Gorget. The heart reference. Imagine how bad it's going to feel if you have to say goodbye to a really good scroll. I mean, I have certainly had to say goodbye to really cool scrolls before. Yeah. This is great. Awesome. Love it. It's a they, them. Yeah. Yeah. I think they mentioned that in the lore. Iridan is a they. I'm always like saying guy and dudes just because that's what models are, right? They're your dudes and stuff. And no matter how long I live, I can never break that habit. But Iridan technically is they, according to the lore. Dude, this is sick. Alright, well, we got 2 in a row. I thought Skaven... I was hoping Skaven wasn't going to be like a fluke, right? And, you know, Stormcast started out whatever, but Hour of Glory is great. Banner of Sigmar might win you the game or be useless. Sigil of Morda is fucking sick. Beacon of Azir is great. Spikes love this. This is a straight up spike thing. Once a game, make a single choice that the dice can't screw you on. You love to see it. Iridan the Witness, pure upgrades everywhere. And it's always a shame when a wonderful looking model isn't that good. And so anything we can do to fix this is fine. Damn, 2 days in a row of good shit. Thumbs up. Can't wait for the Ogre stuff. Tomorrow is Flesh Eater Courts. I wonder what they're doing with that. A new Crypt Honker warscroll, perhaps. Way higher hit rate for cool rules compared to pre-SOG 4E rules in general. If I could extend an olive branch, it's clear that within the battle tomes and the indexes, they were working on a whole bunch of extra stuff at the same time. And with the GHB things, it's possible that there's less on their plate. Or whoever's doing it is giving it a little something. Keep doing this. 2 pages is cool. I want every page of the battle tome to have this quality in it. 5th edition, I'm waiting. What a good game this will be, if that comes to pass. Great work. Give them a raise. You love to see it. The Rampage is actually kind of crazy. I think I might disagree. Crazy, no. Useful sometimes, absolutely. I don't know that I'd go so far as to call it crazy. The really cool part to me is that you're not rolling dice like the Frostlord one. You actually just get up and put it within 1 inch of the target, right? So if there's some huge blob of guys, you can actually just put it wherever, technically still in combat with that kidney-shaped blob, right? Which sometimes could be super cool. So yeah, like on Wings of Death, I'll give it a 15% of the time very good. Otherwise, you know, like there will be a lot of combats where you basically don't even use it because it won't matter. Like every time you haven't charged or there isn't really a good place to land. But yeah, a few times it's gonna be nice and be significant. So yeah, not complaining. A glimpse of great core rules with fun army rules. Will GW troll and make Prince V have an alt warscroll of generic Velocita, which goes away in a year? We'll see. I don't know why they wouldn't just, after the GHB, just take this and put it in the index online, right? Just keep them. Why not just keep them? Was it worth looking at a bird for that? I don't hate birds that much that I can't even look at them. The lore might be exaggerating. I don't like the noises they make, and it's sad to me that people keep them as pets. And I don't like the smell, right? But it's not like I can't look at. I can't even look at them. Anyway, good shit. I don't see why they wouldn't keep the new War Scroll. At some point, maybe there will be a War Scroll that's already good, and then they get a new one that's good in a different way. But I just think that's such a future-proofing problem that we don't have to worry about it. So many of these War Scrolls are awful that we don't have to worry about those two butting heads, right? It's just a pure upgrade. So you just use the newest one, I should think. D1 bird hater, HeyWoah. Talking about his bird hate again. I'm responding to chat. Chat is talking about my bird hate again. Blame them. Turn away like an Eldritch horror. There already is a generic Velocita that goes away in here. Rampage would have been amazing back in the 1-inch combat days, yeah. Or back in the days where people ran chaff still. Like this ability, if every army was still running a whole bunch of chaff, right? This would be so much better because you could leap over the chaff walls. But basically no one's doing that anymore for various reasons. And so the Wings of Death gets a lot worse unless you happen to be exactly playing against SBGL or something. Remember chaff? I do, yeah. It used to be the vegetables people had to eat. And randomly, nobody liked, new players and stuff didn't like playing chaff. And armies exactly like Stormcast would brutally punish people for not playing any. Remember when people thought evocators were good? It was because people weren't playing chaff. You drop 10 of them down there and just kill something, right? And then everyone laughed at them like, just put chaff in your army, lol, right? And now ain't no one got time for chaff, basically. The chaff has been replaced by prospector units, essentially, as the vegetables you need to eat. Can't believe you missed screens so much. Sometimes it's very difficult to predict the knock-on effects of a QOL change you make that everyone likes. Sometimes it's just really hard to predict what'll happen. Anyway, I'm gonna give it a... What did I give the Skaven one? I think I gave it a B, but if we're grading on a curve, I gave it an A+. I'm gonna give this one a B. And if we're grading on a curve, I'm going to give it an A+. Great work. I look forward to living in a world where every page of every battle tome looks this good. 5 out of 7. Anyway, 2 days in a row of good shit. You love to see it. Can't wait for tomorrow with FEC. I wonder when we're getting ogres. 2 for 2, 100%, batting 1,000. Now, if you don't mind, we got to clock in right after this commercial break so that SJ Arcade knows that this section is over for when he edits it later.